Welcome. This is Jim Lowenstern. Been away for a few weeks, though you wouldn't know it. The show keeps running. I had a couple of shows in the can. I had pre-recorded them, as most of the shows are being pre-recorded these days with the Red Sox schedule. And actually took a few weeks off. Went to Europe. I went to Belgium, Luxembourg, Amsterdam, all over Norway, all the way up to a spot called North Cape or North Cap, which is probably the furthest north on the continental European continent. Just miles away from Russia even, and way above the Arctic Circle. Definitely the land of the midnight sun. I saw reindeer running across the road as we went up to North Cape. Went into all the fjords, climbed on glaciers, and pretty much wore down, long underwear, wool scarves, gloves, wool hats. The whole trip, even I should say, even in Belgium and Amsterdam, it's not the same kind of climate we have in Boston. And I got an interesting real estate professional on my show today. He also is someone that doesn't know anything about down these days. James Crumbaugh. Is that how you pronounce your name, James?
Yes, James Crumbaugh.
Crumbaugh. Okay. With Allison James Estates and Homes, you are actually the third.
I am. My name is James Allison Crumbaugh III, and back in 1980, sitting at my desk at Century 21 in Durango, Colorado, I told my buddy that someday I'll have a brokerage called Allison James Estates and Homes.
You're going to just flip your names.
That's what I did.
And you have one.
I do. My wife's ready to shoot me.
All right. Well, we all know about wives shooting husbands. So you started, let's go back, way back to the beginning. How many years have you been in the industry?
Let's see, I just turned 61, so 40, let's just say 40-plus years.
Oh.
A long time.
Oh, goodness. You gotta change your profile online. I thought you were 56. I don't blame you. I would probably say I'm 39.
Well, I'm a typical realtor. I have those old pictures of myself.
The prom photos.
Yeah.
All right. So 40-plus years. You started in Michigan, if I recall.
I did. My dad was a realtor, and I started my hometown as a tiny little town called Boyne City, Michigan. And I started in the same office as my dad many years ago.
So Boyne is where the Boyne Corporation and the ski area and all that
That's
is?
Correct. That's correct.
How many Boynes were there that were? I'll shift the subject only because I'm a very avid downhill skier. And
are you?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if you knew I raised my kids in the ski industry, or I managed for the real estate division of Purgatory Ski Resort for many years.
Oh, I thought I saw Durango.
Yeah.
That's where Purgatory is.
Yes. It's called Durango Ski Resort now. They said the name was not appropriate, but I managed there for many years, the real estate division. But no, I started in Boyne City many years ago. Was pretty lucky right out of the gate, did quite well, and the rest is kind of history. The one job I would have stayed in the rest of my life if they hadn't decided to close down the division would have been managing the real estate division at the ski area. I skied 7 days a week. I loved it.
So
my kids are still trying to figure out how I was such a successful ski bum.
Yeah, so they must be selling real estate again, right?
Yeah.
So you ever think that maybe that's the place you want to be when you retire, or
No, I enjoy going and skiing a couple times a year now, and then being on the water down in Florida. I don't miss shoveling snow or digging cars out or scraping windows anymore.
Or wearing down. You're probably
Or
listening
wearing
to
down.
me, and you're saying, why the hell would anybody go on purpose to the Arctic Circle? Maybe not. Okay, so let's talk about Allison James. You started, well, no, I guess there's more to talk about. You had some franchised operations in Florida at one point, somebody else's franchise.
Yes, I did. I arrived in Florida in 1997. My wife and I actually had sold our first little real estate company in the San Diego region. A couple of years before that, we took off on our sailboat to come to Florida.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. So
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go back. So you started in Michigan, then you moved to Colorado, then you moved to California.
And ran out of land and jumped on a sailboat.
So how long were you selling real estate in San Diego?
I managed out there for 10 years. I helped take a little three-man office company into 15 offices and 700 realtors. From there, I was hired as vice president of RE/MAX for San Diego area. And then I bought my own little company and sold that when the kids left home. And,
What year was that?
That was 91, 92.
Okay, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, 20 years ago. All right, so now you've got some money in your pocket, you got a sailboat, and you leave San Diego. You didn't go through the Panama Canal with your sailboat.
No, we ended up going down through Mexico and then all the way up through the Sea of Cortez and then across the Sea of Cortez and pulled our boat into Guaymas, San Carlos area, and then had it shipped across Mexico, and then brought it on down to this area.
Okay, so you cheated. Let's face
cheated.
it.
There's quite a few cheaters out there. They may tell you they went through the canal, but there's a whole bunch of cheaters out there.
Do you kind of wish that maybe you had tried that once?
I do. Since we were young enough back then, what happens? My wife's mother was not doing well, and I was a little homesick. My wife probably would have stayed out there for another 2 years, but after 2 years on the boat, I was getting antsy.
Oh, okay. A couple of years on a
so,
little.
So we.
How
we
many?
did that.
How many feet? Was
42 feet.
Oh, that's not that bad.
No.
So you kind of drove your sailboat across Mexico. What was that like?
Believe it or not, the semi in Mexico, then it went up to Tucson, but the semi in Mexico was brand spanking new, state of the art. The one they put us in Tucson, they got out of a junkyard.
Okay, so you were going first class in Mexico, and then you kind of slummed it from the U.S. over to Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I kind of imagine that you shipped it over to Cancun and sort of.
No, we shipped it up to Largo and then sailed it down to this area.
Okay, so San Diego, and then the trip to Florida, and then how long were you sitting in the hot tub in Florida and doing laps in the pool before you decided it was time?
I stumbled into, and quite honestly, that's how it worked. I stumbled into an opportunity with a tiny little 12-man bankrupt Prudential franchise.
Did they know they were bankrupt?
Yeah, they did. It was an absentee owner, and he had originally built it for his son. It didn't work out, and he had a manager that was running it that really wasn't up to par. And I just, the opportunity presented itself. He saw something in me. I saw something in the opportunity, and we put it together. And then I built it over the next 8 years into the 800-pound gorilla in the area. We were up to 6 offices, a couple hundred realtors doing $300 million a year in business. And then at the very peak of the market, I sold it to a company that had been trying to buy me for 7 years. So So it worked out very, very well for me.
Right.
Talent.
Timing is everything, and you taught them
Timing
a good
is
lesson.
everything.
Okay. So I guess the question is, how do you take a bankrupt real estate company? And I mean, this is traditional real estate in the truest form. National brand, franchise fees, royalty fees, basically all the expenses that make it almost impossible to be profitable, and yet you turned it into something, right?
Right.
How did you do it?
Single word: recruit.
I figured that would be the answer, but
Yeah,
I didn't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah. Well, in 1991, I was a top recruiter. I got an Oscar back in the old days when the RE/MAX gave out Oscars. I got an Oscar for top recruiter in the nation. Then 91, I was top recruiter in the nation again for Prudential, or in 2001, excuse me. And it's my focus. I have an old philosophy that there's not a single management mistake that cannot be corrected through recruiting in this industry. And the key there, and you just mentioned it, is profitability. And you got to remember, the real estate world 15 years ago was a whole lot different than the real estate world today. And the one thing that I've always been able to do, I've had a talent for not just being able to build companies, but the real talent I have is all my companies have always been profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And I quite often tell people, the way you stay profitable, you don't watch the dollars, you watch the nickels.
So the Prudential franchise in general, it sounds like in California, you were with RE/MAX. Were you with any other?
No, I was independent before RE/MAX out there.
Okay, so
a large
RE/MAX and Prudential, and then some independents, and obviously you're kind of independent right now, right?
Correct.
What are the pluses and minuses of being on your own? What are the pluses and minuses of being with a national brand?
Well,
and let me ask one more question before you answer that, James. You became the 800-pound gorilla in what town in Florida?
Charlotte County and Sarasota County down in Florida.
Sarasota, okay. That's on the Gulf, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. Could you have done the exact same thing? This is like part two of the question. Without Prudential?
15 years ago, I don't think so. It's a different animal today. We're already, after just 4 years, we're already number 2 in the area with Allison James. So
number 2 based on what?
A volume, size, realtors. It goes 1, 2, 3, depending on which numbers you're looking at. But
right, but that's almost an unfair benchmark because you already had the connections with all the talent that was there and their trust.
Well, it helped.
Yeah. Let's be honest. But you probably signed a non-compete with the person you sold the Prudential to.
Yeah, that non-compete expired last March.
Okay, so that's when things took off for you there, probably.
Yeah.
Because then, in the non-compete, just being nosy, did it basically say no one from that group could actually come to you, or that you couldn't contact them?
No, the non-compete actually listed, and this is a humorous story, but the non-compete listed it by counties, and they essentially listed every county south of I-4. If you're familiar with Florida, I-4 dissects the state from north to south.
Sure, I've been on I-4.
And they listed all the counties south of I-4 with the exception of one county, in DeSoto County, which actually sits 11 miles from my front door. And basically because there's nothing out there, some cow pastures and orchards, and that's it. So when I went to start Allison James, I originally started up in Tampa going, okay, I've got to be north of I-4. And it's quite a haul from where I am. And so I went back to my non-compete to really look at it. I went, well, they didn't list DeSoto. So I ended up running they have one commercial building in the entire area in DeSoto out there, and in Lake Susie, and I leased that until my non-compete ran out. And
how long was the non-compete for?
5 years.
Okay. So you've sold 2 successful real estate companies, one in California, one in Florida. You're in Florida already. That's where everyone retires. God's waiting room, whatever. 40 years in the business. Why you're pulled back in? It's like the mafia.
Well, I'm not a good employee. Let's put it this way. When I sold Prudential, both my wife and I were supposed to stay on for 2 years, and they had us at fairly high salaries to do that. After 30 days, they said, we'll continue to pay you, Jim, if you'll just go away. And but they kept my wife. So, you can only mop your garage floor so many times per week.
Yeah, I moved to Florida when I was about 26.
Yeah.
And, thinking after I sold my business I was going to retire there. And I spent so many hours doing laps in the pool that my shriveled skin on my fingers, it never unshriveled. That's why I got my real estate license. And so I completely understand. So they kept your wife like hostage?
My wife, so I got bored.
Was she a hostage?
Yeah, well, she ran the largest, most profitable office we had, and they didn't want to lose that, so they kept her on.
And your wife's name is Ginger?
Yeah.
Okay, because I spoke to Ginger, and for some reason, I seem to get a lot of emails from your company. So I'm imagining that's one of your, I don't know, it's part of your business model. Emailing every broker in the country?
No, every board that we belong to. We buy 1 million emails at a time from these companies that send them out for you. And then we send out to every member of every board where we are currently open. Now, in the beginning, we blasted the country because we weren't open anywhere, and to get open in some areas. But once we got a sound footing in several states, we went back to only blasting where we are. And that's probably why you're getting us, because we do belong to the Boston board.
I thought it was because we spoke and you were.
Well, that could be as well.
With me.
Ginger Ginger's the one that does all that, so that could very well be. She sends out approximately 120,000 e-postcards per week.
Okay, why don't we do this? I'm just looking at the time. Why don't we do a quick break, and we'll come back with you after the break, James. So, does that sound okay? All right.
Perfect.
All right. This is great. Okay, this is WWZN, 1510 AM. This is Jim Lowenstern, and we'll be right back. Stay right where you are. Your blood like winter freezes just like ice, and there's a cold and lonely light that shines from you. You wind up like the wreck you hide behind that mask you use. And did you think this fool could never win? When you are looking to buy or sell real estate and you are looking for the right realtor to do business with, NewEnglandProsperity.org is a nationwide network of carefully selected brokers who are willing to give both you and your favorite charity a large portion of their commission. These brokers are only too happy to donate to a charity and to credit you back money to help with things such as your mortgage closing costs, title insurance, moving expenses, and more. When you're starting to look for a realtor first, go to NewEnglandProsperity.org and sign up. You'll be referred to a broker who will have your interests first and who will also credit you and donate to charity. Look them up at NewEnglandProsperity.org, and when you sign up on their website, you can expect a top broker to return to you with the call to begin discussing the next steps in your selling or buying process. NewEnglandProsperity.org brokers make it easy to buy and sell real estate, and they make it easy for you to pay for your closing costs because they pitch in with a piece of their commission and they make charitable contributions. For all of the information, just go to NewEnglandProsperity.org. We are changing the way America buys and sells real estate.
Craig Tanny is a full-service mortgage broker lender serving Greater Boston for the last 20 years. In 2009, Craig and his partners started Mortgage Equity Partners. MEP is a boutique home loan origination company that seeks out the most aggressive lenders for home mortgages and can offer the most competitive rates available in the market today. Call Craig directly for a personal consultation at 781-309-1805. Mortgage loan origination number 142580 and NMLS 1936.
Castles Magazine, an in-print and online magazine and database of exceptional properties, is available to you 24/7 at castlesmag.com. Considered by Google to be the online authority of luxury real estate, castlesmag.com is the best way to search for properties anywhere in the world when you are looking for your dream home, and the best realtors to help you with your search. Castles Magazine and castlesmag.com. One in print and one online, and always at your service. Not just opening doors, opening the doors that you dream of.
Okay, we're back. This was great. Started off with the Allman Brothers. Got a little Santana in there. Actually going to see them both in the next month. Going to be a great summer. Great summer. Okay, so I'm back on the line with James, who is, are you the president or the CEO?
I'm the CEO. I'm the guy that keeps in the back corner so I don't cause too much.
They got you chained to the desk, probably.
Right.
But the desk is on a sailboat.
Well, powerboat nowadays. I'm an old guy, so now I'm a stink potter.
And then, like the 4th, you were out on the boat watching fireworks.
We tend to take our boat out quite a bit, and we'll go out for a few days at a time. We were out for just a couple of days this last time. In 10 days, we're going down to South Seas Plantation on Sanibel for a few days.
Nice.
So,
I love Sanibel. I love Captiva even better.
Yep. Nice areas.
Wonderful. So, okay. So, James, I got to tell you, did you watch the TV show Shark Tank?
I have not.
Oh, it's the greatest.
I know I need to.
It's, well, in the beginning, it used to be like I would say the Roman Colosseum, where these business owners, some of which had billion-dollar ideas, well, we'll say many million-dollar ideas, some of them were literally billion-dollar ideas, would come into the room with the 5 sharks, and then they would bid on the idea. And some of these people sold these unbelievable businesses with trademarks and patents and licensing and you name it for like $50,000. It made you cry. So then it all kind of changed. Oh, and Barbara Corcoran, you know Barbara.
Yeah. In fact, I just had a dream about Barbara. I shouldn't probably say that.
Okay, well, we'll come back to that for sure. I'm taking notes. A dream about Barbara Corcoran. Okay, so so she hardly bought anything. She'd be buying like cupcake companies and stuff like that. People that make little deals. So then Mark Cuban comes in, and the entire show changed. But one week, and Mark is what he does. He's kind of interesting. You sort of watch the way he sort of is on the sidelines. He doesn't say a word. He just watches everyone else, and he waits till everyone else says, "Nah, it's not for me." Or if they're making a deal, he watches what the deal is, and at the very last minute, he makes the same deal, and he says, "I give you 10 seconds to give me a yes, or the deal's off." And there's been many guys that have waited like 11 seconds, and they go back to him and says, "I told you, 10 seconds." They said, "Come on, Mark." And they go, and he'll cut the deal in half. and
Oh,
and they
wow.
and they still want to do business with him. So he gets the deal for 50% less than everyone else's offer because they want to deal with him. So 1 week, I'm way off track, but okay. So 1 week, he has a guy. They have a guy on, and he comes in, and the name of his company is "I'll Draw You a Cat," and it's the most ridiculous thing. For $25, he'll draw you a cat. You can send him a picture, I guess, of your cat, or you just say, draw me any cat, and you get a cat. So Mark Cuban is the only one that likes the idea, and he buys the whole company for like next to nothing because he just thinks it's the goofiest thing. It has to succeed, and sure enough, it does. So then they have sort of like follow-ups on different deals that were done. So a couple months ago, I'm watching this, and they have on I'll Draw You a Cat. And the guy's saying, oh, business is great since Mark came on, our board of directors and gave us that little help with the cash. Now we're doing I'll Write You a Song. So I'm watching this and go, okay, well, I got a radio talk show. I could really use a theme song. I mean, I'm going to wear out this Allman Brothers song pretty soon. I'll give them some ideas. So Facebook, Mr. Luxury Real Estate. I used to be Luxury Real Estate, and then they just ripped it from me and gave it to luxuryrealestate.com with, even though I've got castlesmag.com, and they gave it to them. I love Facebook. It was wonderful how they really paid attention to my owning it for two or 3 years. So I gave them, okay, Mr. Luxury Real Estate on Facebook, Castles Unlimited, Castles Magazine, the radio show, and they sent me, and Brian is on the board. Brian, you have it? Okay, why don't we play it for the audience? You tell me what you think, James.
Join Mr. Luxury Real Estate for a real estate revolution. From building houses to the economy, Jim shares all of his expertise. Building style and luxury. Join the real estate revolution. Join the real estate revolution.
Do. Jeez. So, James, I have to give you a little background. The radio station calls itself Revolution Boss, revolutionboston.com and stuff like that. But he was nice. I said it's so horrible I can't actually use it. It makes me cringe when I listen to it. Either laugh or cringe while I'm laughing or something like that. So I guess I could have had 4 cats drawn for what I paid. They weren't going to give me my money back. So I have to come up with new lyrics, but I'll keep you posted. This is obviously a work in progress. And okay, so let's talk about your dream with Barbara Corcoran in it. What was that all about?
Well, we were anchored out in the middle of the Freedom Swim. They have a couple thousand people swim across the harbor, and I dreamt that Barbara Corcoran was swimming across. She was on an inner tube going across the harbor. Why, I have no idea, but she was in my dream last night.
Oh, it was last night.
Yeah.
So, there's so many obvious puns with the water. I'm not going to go there though. This is it's a family show, but I actually had thrown my hat in the ring for that show, but I don't think they can touch anything with real estate because she probably has so many non-competes with Realogy.
My understanding is her non-compete expired last November.
Really?
And I got that from a pretty reliable source. So.
And she's tied up in contracts with the
Yeah,
Today
she might have something
Today
outside
Show.
of what's I mean, her non-compete that expired last November was the selling of her company. She might have other non-competes now.
Yeah, and not that she needs the money, although she might if she keeps just investing in little cupcake companies. So okay, so let's go back to you started Allison James Estates and Homes in 2008.
January of 2008. I incorporated a few months before that, but I really just was going about getting everything lined up and so forth, and I opened my doors on January 3rd of 2008.
Okay, but you don't have to open doors. You're running a virtual company.
Well, I have to have the back office operations is what I have to have, and what I opened up was. I guess that first office might have been 200 square feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
a place to put the computer, basically.
Yeah. Quite honestly, we're closing in on 700 realtors now. We will do every month is a brand new record, but we'll close in 2012. We'll close over $1 billion in business, around 6,000 sales, and we have 6 staff people.
So
you've been in real estate,
yeah.
That's unheard of. That doesn't count our brokers, but just 6 staff people.
Right. No, I understand. So $1 billion. Okay, and this is where everyone's numbers get a little tricky. I was with a franchise that was, how I found them and why I bought them is they were number 3 on Real Trends, only to find out. Pretty much the day I bought the franchise, they decided they weren't going to report their numbers anymore on Real Trends. And it's taken me a little time to figure it out, but it was because they were selling franchises, and it could be an earnings claim, which was completely false because they were counting everything like 3 times because they had mortgages and insurance and relocation and referral, and $1 million sale could be probably booked as $3.5 million.
Right.
So when you say you do a billion,
no, well, we do $1 billion in real estate sales. I mean, we don't.
That's well, yeah, I know that. The listeners don't all know that, and honestly, some of the people in the industry don't know that. That's double accounting for listing and sale also.
Right.
So $1 million sale where it was your listing and you had the buyer is now $2 million. Right?
Correct, I guess. You lost me.
Well, each side is counted as the full price of the house.
Yes. When I say 6,000 sales, that could be 4,000 where we have the listing sides, and 2,000 where we have the selling side, or any combination thereof.
Right. But you're not. It's not really sales. It's sides, and when you add up all the sides, it's over $1 billion. I'm not saying you're doing anything different. Actually, you're probably doing it correct where everyone else is doing it wrong. That's what I'm trying to say. So, okay, so you have a virtual company, and obviously virtual is only electronic and it's on the internet. In reality, people go usually somewhere to do their business. If they're going to a Starbucks or they're renting from a corporate rental office place, or they're just doing it out of their home. We live in a real world, not a virtual world. Do you know one of your virtual competitors, EXP?
I'm somewhat familiar with them, yes.
Okay, because I saw they sort of do, like, it almost looks like avatars, like the agent walks around.
Yeah, they're a bit different in how they do it.
I'm not knocking them. I thought it was kind of goofy, and it lost my attention within about the first 2 or 3 minutes. Cause,
they've struggled with their recruiting.
Okay. All right, well, let's go back to Prudential, where, obviously you recruited enough agents. How many agents did you have at the end there?
Right at 200 at the end.
200, and how many offices?
6 offices.
That's pretty good. Okay, so you recruited all these agents. Was it purely because Prudential was the greatest thing? And by the way, Prudential probably won't exist in the next 2 or 3 years, right?
Yeah, we know that. No, it wasn't because Prudential. It could have been Coldwell Banker, could have been Century 20, it could have been ERA. For me, it really would not have mattered. I make recruiting the number one priority every waking moment of my day in every office I have ever been in. As I tell other brokers all the time, every day you have a crisis, but that crisis has always got to be number two, because if you ever let recruiting slip from number one, you're dying.
And part of your business model is to reward the agents that are recruiting for you.
Yes, we don't push them to recruit, and what we reward them is it's not a whole lot. I mean, it actually comes out better than most of these companies that do purposely try and get them to recruit and pay them. Ours comes out better in the long run, but we don't push it. It's some of our realtors pay their entire dues that they've recruited enough to do that, but most of them make enough to go out for maybe a dinner a month. But hey, it's a dinner a month, and we're thrilled with that, and they're thrilled with that.
Okay. When we come back from what will probably be our last break, we're going to talk about because recruiting is central to your success. I had the president of a brand, and I think pretty much recruiting is their number one thing right out there, everywhere. That's their whole business, internally and externally. So we'll kind of compare what you're doing with them. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay. Well, for you that are hanging for my every word, this is WWZN 1510 AM. I am Jim Lowenstern, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Go to his head and his wife's aggravation. You soon end up dead. That's the same old story, same old song and dance, my friend. That's the same old.
When you are searching for a new home, you want to be working with a realtor with years of experience, a professional with intimate knowledge of the communities that you are considering moving to, and someone who really wants to represent you as a buyer in what is probably the largest investment you'll ever make in your lifetime. Please visit us at castlesunlimited.com or call us anytime at 800-967-3561. Start your search anytime 24/7 at castlesunlimited.com, and a Castles Unlimited Realtor will get back to you just as fast as possible. Castles Unlimited Realtors, expert advice and quick, informative information on all the listings, not only your local market, but information on properties for sale or rent anywhere in the world. Your Castles Unlimited Realtor is always there to help you with your next move, your next purchase, your next home, or commercial property sale. CastlesUnlimited.com and 800-967-3561. Find your way home with your favorite Castles Unlimited Realtor.
Is your home suffering from any sort of water damage? Are you in need of a proper roof replacement? If so, you need Capstone General Contracting. We specialize in water and fire restoration, roofing and siding, additions and remodeling. Offering valuable contracting services and exceeding your expectations is our promise. Contact us at 508-799-4463 or through our website, gccapstone.com. When buying or selling a home, always be sure to use a local realtor who has the knowledge and experience to help you get the most from this market. Properly pricing your home is vitally important. Realtors value properties every day. They understand how best to show a home and can help enhance the saleability and sale price of your home. This message is brought to you by the over 19,000 realtor members in Massachusetts. Contact a local realtor today, and good luck in the search for your perfect home.
When you are looking to buy or sell real estate and you are looking for the right realtor to do business with, NewEnglandProsperity.org is a nationwide network of carefully selected brokers who are willing to give both you and your favorite charity a large portion of their commission. These brokers are only too happy to donate to a charity and to credit you back money to help things such as your mortgage closing costs, title insurance, moving expenses, and more. When you're starting to look for a realtor first, go to NewEnglandProsperity.org and sign up. You'll be referred to a broker who will have your interests first and who will also credit you and donate to charity. Look them up at NewEnglandProsperity.org. And when you sign up on their website, you can expect a top broker to return to you with the call to begin discussing the next steps in your selling or buying process. NewEnglandProsperity.org brokers make it easy to buy and sell real estate, and they make it easy for you to pay for your closing costs because they pitch in with a piece of their commission and they make charitable contributions. For all of the information, just go to NewEnglandProsperity.org. We are changing the way America buys and sells real estate.
Okay, we're back again. This is Jim Lowenstern, and I've got James Crombo on the line. I guess I could have said he was in the studio because it's so clear. He is the founder of Allison James Estates and Homes. And James.
Yes.
I had Tammy Bunnell on my show a while back and spoke to her about her business model. I was really amazed at the numbers she was reporting. I'm amazed at your numbers too. But I was also amazed that they're taking 10% pretty much off the top of every one of their commissions, where the franchisee isn't the one that recruited the agents and giving it to the agent that sponsored or recruited the other agent. Obviously, with your business model, you can't do that because there's not enough cash flow. And I'm sure you noodled around with all the different ways you could be expanding your company, and you probably knew a little bit about their program. Am I right?
Yes, I looked at a few. When I started this company, I really wanted to adhere to the KISS formula.
Yep.
And it's worked very well for us. And in fact, everybody's always making suggestions. And he mentioned RealTrends a little while ago. It was about a year ago. I spent the dollars to hire RealTrends as a consultant. And I said, hey, Steve and Nikolai, I said, come in, tear me apart, rip me apart, critique me. Don't be afraid of hurting my feelings, and tell me what I'm doing right and what I'm doing wrong and what I need to change. And after spending all that money, they came back and said, don't change a thing.
Okay. I wonder if Exit did the same thing, and they said, do what James is doing.
Yeah.
But it's obviously a different model. You're not franchising, correct?
No, I'm not a franchise. We own it like stock and barrel.
So I was a franchisor once upon a time, and then I was a franchisee, seen it from both sides of the fence. And I actually have a franchise litigator on my board of directors now who basically tells me don't ever franchise. Do not franchise. So what's your position on the whole franchising idea, concept?
Well, I think the right franchise in the right industry is not a bad thing. I mean, I enjoyed my time with Prudential. I'm not sure franchising in today's real estate arena with the technology we have, I'm not sure they bring that much to the table anymore. Number one is it's just the industry has changed so much. You go way back in the industry like I do. Mm-hmm. It used to be brokers could make money because the splits were 50-50.
Right.
And then and then it started going up. The realtors wanted more. You had to provide computers. You had to provide fax. You had to provide copiers and phones.
Training.
Yeah, I remember we had to pass a phone list around every office every month. Everybody had to highlight the long-distance phone calls they made. Well, that's all gone away with today's technology. Every realtor out there, if they've been in the business for any length of time.
Remember floor time, right?
Oh, geez, yes. They just, they have their home offices anymore. What we have found, and it's been kind of an eye opener since we created this business model, is we don't have, all we have is our corporate office, and I own that building. And what we have found is our realtors out there. Number one, our average realtor is 10 years in the business, which we're kind of surprised about. So we've got a little older realtor than we expected.
Do you ever get applications and you turn the realtors down?
All the time.
Okay, for what reasons?
All the time. If they're brand new, we don't want them. If they're going on a team, that's one thing. But if they're brand new, we don't want them.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
We have the technology is out there to do the training nowadays with video conferencing and everything else. You can create a program where you could train brand new people and hold them accountable. But you know what? The funny thing is, the biggest issue I thought I'd have with this business model when I started was compliance. I have absolutely no compliance issues. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. I think in the last 4 years, I've submitted 4 possible complaints to E&O, and they all went away. I mean, we don't have anything, and I think it's the average length of time in the business of our realtors, and they don't want to lose their licenses, and it's been just a blessing in disguise. But our back end system is they can't move forward on getting paid on a commission unless each step is clicked off on the series, so it makes them more compliant than they would be going into a brick and mortar and saying they're a broker. Come on, I'll get you that form on Monday, but I really need to get my commission today.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
Oh, yeah. Well,
as they're standing over my desk and tapping their foot.
I got to make my house payment. Well, it doesn't matter with us. You got to click through the system before you can get paid. So
that's interesting.
So our compliance has been a non-issue, which has been wonderful.
And I must say that I did some searching for complaints and about Allison James, and all I could find was a couple of nice reviews for agents.
Yeah.
That was about it. I tried Allison James Sucks. That didn't work. No, seriously. I try it for just about every other company, and I get volumes of.
I'll bet.
And actually, some of the the one I had bought their franchise, they actually have a website, theirnamesucks.com, where people are putting up their complaints.
Well, the one thing I'm real strong on is I've always been strong on compliance. My E&O is absolutely ridiculously low.
Do you make the agents pay for their E&O?
No, I pay for the E&O. Well, yes, we do. We do, and we also have a higher deductible, and the agent's responsible for that deductible, and that might also be what keeps them honest. As well, because it's a lot of deductibles are $5,000. We run ours at $10,000.
Wow!
And the agent's responsible for it.
Yeah, good luck
now,
collecting.
It's not that I'll ever collect it.
Exactly.
You and I both know that, but I think it does keep them. I think a little more accountable.
You have one E&O.
What's that?
I'm sorry, James. You have one E&O policy for the whole country.
Yes, that's been a challenge. I've been with the same company for 14 years, and when I went to them with this, every year they've refined it a little more because it's actually it's all outside the box, and they've done a good job. They've worked with me. I'm a rare broker in that I talk honestly with my E&O company when there's a possible complaint or something. I used to invite the Florida Real Estate Commission into my credentials every year to audit me.
Nice. That was smart.
I want to be in compliance. Literally,
Florida's the toughest state.
What's that?
Florida is absolutely the toughest state. I mean, I still have my license down there. It's still inactive, but it's current.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely, they put up with no nonsense from anybody.
There's no reason. I'd rather be 100% compliant, and we have zero tolerance for non-compliance.
I'm just wondering how you get entire states up and running with, no office. Are all your virtual brokers realtors, or some are realtors, some aren't? How does that work?
No, they're all realtors. They're all realtors. The hardest...
or associated with a realtor somehow.
We require everybody to have a real estate license.
Okay, because in Massachusetts, real estate license, I
Well,
understand.
they have to belong to NAR.
Okay, because you have, the only one I can check is Massachusetts. You have a number of agents that aren't. Just so you know. I don't care, but just so you know. There's some association, obviously, because you have a designated broker, and they're a realtor, but for what it's worth.
Okay, I'll check with Gene today. Yeah. That's my broker up there.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're doing great. Brian, we're going to go out with my theme song, just because it'll never be played again. I got to get my money's worth on this. So, James, what do you think? We're gonna do some runs together. You ever come up to New England? Ever ski?
No. This past year, I skied a couple of areas in Aspen and Tahoe. My son's got Aspen, Tahoe, and Franson, the bum. He's the one that really runs the
I want to get to the Alps soon.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This year I'm going to do Sun Valley. I've got a grandson up there, so I'm going to do Sun Valley this year, and probably Tahoe again this year. But those probably the only two I'll get in this year.
I've been
Maybe
to
Aspen.
Alpine Meadows. I love that area.
So how long, you been skiing your whole life?
Yeah, absolutely. And,
well, here's my claim to fame. I won the over 30 Mogo Championship in Colorado.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah, I used to be a good skier. Now I'm just fast.
All right. Well, we're gonna do this. To tell you the truth, this show is supposed to be totally different, and I'll give you something to think about. We were going to have Redfin on the show with you.
Oh, okay.
It was going to be a little debate about culture and business models and the internet, and we're going to do it again. How's that sound?
It sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, when you said you're bringing somebody, I thought it might have been Mark Willis.
I don't know. I don't even know who that is.
CEO of Keller Williams.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put that on
Mark
my
and
list.
I have had a couple of debates over a glass of wine.
Okay. Well, let's do it on the radio. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. This is Jim Lowenstern. Check out this show, all the other shows, archived at jimlowenstern.com. My companies, Castles Unlimited. You can check out my magazine, castlesmag.com. It's all virtual. It's the top properties around the world. I hope that all my listeners find all their dreams at home, always. And this is WWZN. It's AM 1510 in Boston. You can also find these shows at revolutionboston.com streaming. But don't forget, jimlowenstern.com. And here's my theme song. Bye for now.
Join Mr. Luxury Real Estate for a real estate revolution. From building houses to the economy, Jim shares all of his expertise. Building style and luxury. Join the real estate revolution. Join the real estate revolution.